Bleh. I think if I get around to it, no promises. Obviously, no promises to myself. You're going to see it if I do it. But I think I'm going to put a little graphic up here of, like, the galaxy and, like, the different, like, the different territories. So you can see, like, get a little bit of a visual glimpse of what the map looks like. That might be really fun. We'll see if I put the work in for that. Hey guys, welcome back to the Buffoonery Hour, where I talk about people and places that exist entirely in my head. Today I'm going to keep heading in that lore discussion direction I've been heading lately, and describe the main governing body of the humans in Buddy Squad, the United Systems of the Nexus Galaxy. To tell the story of the USNG, I'm going to have to delve a little bit into the fantasy element of Buddy Squad. I won't go into much detail here, but there are some things I need to explain for the larger story to make sense. So about 3 centuries before the story of Buddy Squad takes place, humanity had hit a bit of a rough patch. While still cooped up on their home planet of Terrestria, folks watched a few global wars and natural disasters create a pretty stark drop-off in the average quality of life. Tensions were high, and all seemed pretty lost until one big day. A battle-fogged Terrestrian morning saw the arrival of Prime Zal. Prime Zal was and is a benevolent being that gave humanity the ability to manipulate the natural world around them, using what they perceived to be as magic. Prime Zal called it the Gift. You see how that connects with the Institute of the Gift, where Appa went? You know, where they trained the magic soldiers? Yeah, you get it, I'm sure. I'm really sorry, okay? Look, I know you're smart, okay? I didn't mean to insult your intelligence or anything. Humanity used the gift not only to improve their lives on Terrestria, but to also get their technology to the point of interstellar travel. Naturally, they began to colonize habitable planets throughout a significant portion of the galaxy, as well as terraforming almost perfect planets that had enough resources to make it worth the work. Now, space is big, and sections of planets that were either closer to each other or just more culturally similar began to form separate sectors to govern themselves. The inner, more developed planets aligned themselves with Terrestria and adopted the Terrestrian name for their sector. Every planet in this sector is governed directly by the Terrestrian Emperor, advised, of course, by Prime Zal. The planets closer to the galactic center formed a culture of farming and agriculture, and named their sector Umfaria. Planets further from the center formed a culture of minimalism and deep study of the gift. They named their sector Palestri. Finally, the planets furthest out from Terrestria formed an industrial mining culture and named their sector Drachman. Now, it's important to say that Prime Zal instructed the Terrestrian leaders to strictly regulate the gift through direct government oversight. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's a big, heavy power. It could cause a lot of havoc, you know? I mean, all it takes is zap, zap, and suddenly you got a planet where everyone's got hot pockets for hands. We would be the first ones to be eaten in any survival situation. That's a deep cut-in joke. However, Drachman industry leaders eventually demanded that they be allowed to create a gifted council of their own. Prime Zal, who only speaks with the Terrestrian Council of the Gift, refused. Unfortunately, Drachma created their council anyway, and began to use the gift to improve their own industry separate from Terrestria. This heresy to Prime Zal could not stand. Terrestria declared war. So I just realized I completed the entire second half of my script without recording. So if my mood is deteriorated, that is why. Umfaria, being dependent on Terrestria to purchase their produce, aligned with them against Drachma. Palestri attempted to remain neutral, but were eventually influenced by Terrestria to join their cause. The war raged on for decades, ravaging hundreds of worlds and taking millions of lives. But eventually Drachma, outgunned, outnumbered, and outclassed, surrendered to Terrestria. A treaty was signed that annexed the vast majority of Drachman territory to Terrestria. Umfaria and Palestri were also absorbed into Terrestria, being that they had become completely dependent on the central planets during the war. This union of sectors was the USNG. Now every system is under the leadership of the Terrestrian Emperor, with significant input and petition power from a table of representatives from each planet. The USNG uses a powerful Navy, Army, and GDAS Special Forces to police their portion of the galaxy and maintain the unprecedented peace their empire has established. And there you go, an overview of the history of the USNG, as taught in a Terrestrian school. Thanks, bye.